The Portland Trail Blazers have opted not to renew the contracts of assistant coaches Chris Fleming, Roy Rogers,
and Ryan Gomes.
Mm-hmm. I liked Ryan Gomes.
Yeah. I mean, I like all of them.
No, I was talking about as a player.
Oh, yeah.
I really thought, like, Ryan Gomes was a guy I was like, you know what?
I mean, he was a hooper at Providence.
He's gonna be really good.
Mm-hmm.
I always like Providence guys. Like that's why I like Chris Dunn too. Why? I don't know why. I have zero connection to Providence
and Rhode Island. I saw Lamar Odom in those Rams jerseys one time, and I was like, I'm in.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is about Providence guys, but I'm like, yeah, no, he's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's gonna be a hooper. But those three will not be returning to the Blazers sidelines on Chauncey Billups' staff for the 2025-26 campaign. And this text asks, what are the odds that a former Blazer is an assistant coach next season?
I mean, they could bring one in as a player development guy, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case.
What's Steve Blake doing these days?
I don't know what Steve's doing. He was out here, then he went out and did some coaching stuff, then I think he came back and...
Like Steve Blake seems like he would be a guy that I could see being a coach.
But I mean,
they always bring Dan Dickow back for things, so maybe Dan Dickow becomes an assistant
Andre
coach.
Miller's trying to get into coaching.
Dude, he would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants to come back to Portland and do that, but Andre Miller would be an amazing coach.
Andre Miller and Chauncey Billups in the same coaching staff would be a lot for me because I mentioned this before. Andre and Chauncey were two of my favorite point guards growing up.
Yeah, you'd have a Chris Farley show. Hey, you remember that one time? Yeah. You remember that? It was awesome. You remember you scored 50 points, Andre? You remember that?
With only 1 3?
That was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, they were both footwork gods. I loved them.
You remember like not jumping for the last 10 years of your career?
And then
being good?
And then randomly pulling out a 2 foot above the rim tomahawk in Denver. Still one of the most insane dunks I've ever seen. A guy who just doesn't dunk, getting in the open court, turning parallel to the floor, and getting his chin above the rim on a tomahawk. Just to show everybody, I still got it.
I can do it.
I just don't need to.
Just stop not to.
But no, they did let go of 3 assistant coaches. And I'll do according to sources, a Chauncey Billups getting an extended contract now allows the Blazers to potentially go out and maybe secure bigger names.
Well, I'll tell you, last year we had this conversation about this time of year that the hardest part for Chauncey Billups is coaching without a contract in finding assistant coaches because they jump ship going, I don't know if this guy's going to be here any longer, so your current assistants leave, and it's hard to bring in assistant coaches. Now he has stability and security. Okay. All right.
So I would imagine, well, here's the thing. Whether it's Paul Allen or Jody Allen, they've never really paid for coaches. Like that's a thing. That's a real thing. Like, and you could be like, oh, Jody. No. Paul too. They now,
except for in the NFL, which is the weirdest thing, they had a very well-funded staff.
Yes.
With the Seahawks.
Now they aren't as cheap as some teams. Kings, Nuggets.
Kings who just hired Doug Christie.
Nuggets who burn through executives like freaking nothing. Like,
yeah,
they aren't the cheap. They're probably slightly below middle of the pack as far as what they like. Think about their head coaches just real quick. Chauncey Billups is the first-time head coach.
Put him around the 20 range.
Terry Stotts was a retread coach. Before that, you had Nate, who was a retread coach with a bunch of interims in between. Dunleavy was a retread coach. PJ was a retread coach. Like all of them. All of them. That's the history of the Blazers. Jack Ramsey is the only one that wasn't like a full-on retread, and he had 2 stops before that.
Yeah, it's really hard, though, in coaching because either you hire the guy that has little to no experience and they pop for you, or you hire the established winning coach, which they've
never done.
But they can pick their job.
Sure.
I mean, they can.
Yeah, you're right.
Portland is not the one that they're going to be going to. And those ones are few and far between, right?
I would also say, though, the position the Blazers in last year was not nearly as good on the basketball front, or the coaching front because of the lack of security around Joe, Chauncey, but also the team.
And that is something that I just.
If you're an assistant,
I don't really understand why you part with 3 assistant coaches when you saw so much development.
Here's the thing: when I first heard about it, I was like, "Roy, that like Roy." For those that don't know, Roy Rogers is their defensive coordinator. Like he's the one responsible for their defensive calls and stuff they don't. And obviously Chauncey is the guy.
Yeah.
But Roy is the defensive coach. And Chris Fleming is the guy that has been credited with getting Scoot back on the right track because he came from Chicago and got Kobe White back on track.
And Gomes was formerly with the Ignite, where Scoot came from.
And he was a player development coach who worked with a lot of guys. So I was like, that's a little interesting. So my first thought is that they're not going big game hunting as far as assistant coaches, but I think they're going to try to like really bolster the bench with some guys you might know.
All right. I'm with these texters, though. Just bring Sheed in. Let him host the podcast. He can do it on the road from his hotel room. Bring Sheed in. Bring back those early 2000s Pistons.
He's done some consulting.
Give me a little bit of crazy on that staff.
Yeah. I mean, trying to think. There's nobody.
He couldn't sell his house in West Lynn for a really long time, right?
Yeah.
Does he still have that? Has he been able to sell that?
Him and Evan couldn't sell their houses forever.
I'd imagine that she probably could sell it for a pretty penny, I don't know, the last decade.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That real estate value is pretty good.
Yep.
But, yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to kind of see what's going on. I've got some feelers out there to some folks to kind of see what might be out there.
Changes are coming, though.
They are coming.
And look, the last changes were good because, remember, Chauncey had to let go of his brother from the staff last year. And they brought in guys, and Chauncey brought in guys who helped develop the talent. I mean, that was the one thing that you can look at from this past season and say, unequivocally, players developed this past year.
Yes. Hands down, across the board.
Across the board, guys got better. And that is your assistant coaching staff.
Mm-hmm. Those are the guys that are working with guys in their individual development throughout the season.
Yeah. We got a lot of people texting in Brandon Roy's name.
So,
high school coach, they're bringing him back into the fold. Bring B. Roy back.
Brandon has said he is not going to leave coaching in high school until his kid leaves.
Okay.
So that's where that stands.
Another one, Greg Oden. Greg Oden was coaching.
He's done a lot of consulting.
Yeah. Well, he was on the bench at Ohio State for a year.
Yeah, he was the they had him in as a not a developmental coach. What do they have?
I thought he was a grad assistant.
Yeah, there was a GA. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was still going to school.
Yeah, he was actually. I think he was like coaching was part of his degree.
Sweet. All right. Well, I don't expect a former Blazer to be on the coaching staff.
If they did do it, it would be on the developmental side.
And it'd be Sheed and be awesome. And I think it should happen. I want this to happen.
I mean, Chauncey knows how to rein him in.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the best for me. I would not want.
Well, no, you let him off the leash every now and then.
That's what I'm talking about.
You click it. Chauncey knows how to put the leash back on.
You want to talk about a guy who, and he's not on the bench. He's
second
the row back, just chirping at the refs the entire game. Are you kidding me?
God.
You want to get a ratings bonanza? Mic up the assistant
Joey
coach.
Crawford just out of nowhere just comes out of the crowd, not even reffing a game.
Yeah. She's like, I can get as many technicals as I want now?
There's no limit?
Yeah, they're not going to suspend me for a game?
They'd institute a Sheed rule from the bench. 100%.
And I would be here for it.